First of all, I'm massively uncomfortable, like waiting for my turn.
Hey,
Like a slow motion, like car wreck. And I'm finally here. So I'm like, I'm going to shake it off a little bit because like, ugh.
When we first connected, what was your personal experience like to be Ben? And how were you feeling about the real estate industry, like about the business?
I was probably within 6 months of leaving the business. I think that was the first year I made $1 million in real estate. And I had sort of accomplished what I had set out to do. I bought the Range Rover, I bought the house, my wife was staying at home. My 2 daughters are here right now. We had the things. When I got to that point and I didn't feel anything and I just had to start over again to keep the same lifestyle and to sort of keep the same production, it felt like I was in prison. Everybody that I saw that was successful appeared to be happy.
In prison.
Yep. And so when I met Aaron, I was very close to shutting it all down and just completely changing my life to the point that my wife and I had conversations about what that would look like, where we would go and what we would do. And it was always fascinating because I would be really attracted to those shows. And I don't know if you guys watch them online, of the Alaska shows where there's a guy in a cabin by himself in the woods.
Yeah. And then he sat his wife down. Is this a great idea? She's like, no.
She's like, that's not who I married. But that was what I want. Like I was so attracted to those shows because it was like, then I could just, I could go into the woods. I could be by myself. I didn't have to, it was like the polar opposite of the experience that I was having, which was very uncomfortable and not sort of conventionally rewarding like you would expect it to be.
We began to kind of work together as a team to address some of those issues. And one of the things I said to you, you actually came to a high-level mastermind that I ran at the time called the Freedom Builders. And I pulled you aside during the event. And what did I say to you?
You have the capability to lead.
Yeah. And what did you say back to me?
No, I don't. No, I actually said, I said that's probably the first time that anybody has said that to me.
And you were how old at the time?
39.
Yeah. So in 39 years, nobody ever told him that he had the capacity to lead. Isn't that interesting? Here's my experience. Usually it only takes one person to believe in you. That's it. Now notice, because when I said that to you, was that like, yes, I can? Is that what happened?
No.
No, not at all. Nope. He was like, who, me? Widow, oh, me? No way. You got the wrong guy, dude, right?
No, I just walked away from you.
Yeah. And the reason, by the way, why I saw that is one of the things that we would do at this retreat. We actually had a Marine with us that was we were doing workouts in the beach, right? And it was kind of legendary, truthfully, because it was like a storm and there was a lighthouse. It was crazy. But as we're doing it, there's a 50-pound bag, right? And he dropped it. The Marine dropped it on the thing. He's like, okay, we need to run, but somebody needs to pick that up. Well, leaders go first, yes? Leaders go first. That's what they do, right? And so as such, I pick it up. I start running. We run, we stop, we do our workouts. I drop it. And you know what's interesting? You notice real quick, leadership rises. It emerges very fast. I drop it on the sand. People are standing next to it like, oh, me? Do you want it? Are you sure? But what happened is almost instantaneously when I dropped it, Ben picked it up immediately. So I noticed, hey, he has the capacity to lead. Now, even though somebody believes in you, it still requires a lot of cultivation. Yes?
Yup.
Yeah, a lot. So let's talk a little bit about that, because I said to you, hey man, you have the capacity to lead. And there was a lot of time of you kind of seeing yourself instead of being in the crowd to being on the stage, right? And then I started to say to you, hey man, I think you have a lot of good value and information to share. You should start doing media. And what was your response?
No.
No. Hey, are you guys noticing a pattern? Almost uniformly. I want all you guys to realize, okay? Your answer to growth usually is no. Almost invariably, your first answer is no. But the reason is because it's uncomfortable. And he promptly told me, hey, I'm not a media guy. I don't do that. But I'm pretty persistent. He does now, yeah. But I'm pretty persistent. You started to do it. And how good were you at first?
Terrible.
Terrible. Yeah.
Yeah, I look back on it and I'm shake my head.
Hey, but here's what I need everybody to realize. If you're not embarrassed by your first attempt, you waited too long. It should be embarrassing. I want you guys, as you keep coming to these events and the room gets bigger and bigger and bigger, because it's going to, you're like, man, I saw him last year, but this year, bro, he's better. Yeah. I want to look, if you look at my old YouTube videos, like I'm embarrassed. First YouTube podcast I did was with Jose. The power went out while I did it. I promise you. You know what he said to me when he hopped back on? Allies team, iron sharpens iron. Hey, it's a good thing this happened to me instead of when you interview Grant. So it's not great, but that's how it starts. And it was really uncomfortable for you, yes?
Yeah, as it is right now. And that's what I'm starting to realize is that living in discomfort, I used to sort of try to push it away. But now I understand the value of living in discomfort and pushing yourself to do uncomfortable things. I mean, we talk about it with my kids all the time about them doing uncomfortable things. But there was a lot of discomfort in doing the same thing. And that was what sort of came up when we first met, because I was doing the same thing over and over and over again. And that was also uncomfortable. And so this growth that we all have by being uncomfortable and putting ourselves in uncomfortable positions and coming up on the stage and waiting 45 minutes to talk, like all of those things will push you to grow. And I would rather be uncomfortable and grow than be uncomfortable and stay the same.
That's right. That's how you survive in the jungle, team. Is you got to keep making yourself uncomfortable and learning new things. Now, is it helpful to be in the jungle with a guide who knows the jungle? Yes. Because otherwise you eat those berries and you get diarrhea and you die. So it's super helpful. And what's cool is like I get the privilege and the pleasure now to witness and watch that. So, and I think my role now is to continue to help you, to put you in positions like this. I gave you the opportunity to speak at our leadership retreat. And initially when I asked you, what was your feeling?
Well, I knew I was going to do it because you were just going to keep asking.
Yeah, he got the memo. Like, this isn't going away. You're going to have to do this.
I mean, I practiced ad nauseum. And I think I came up to you that morning too, because it was the same sort of thing. I think you had me like after a bunch of people and I asked you to go first because I wanted to just get it out of the way. But yeah, it was just, it was an opportunity. And I think I came up to you afterwards.
You did, yeah.
And I got really emotional because, again, when you have somebody in your life that's sort of challenging you to do things that other people wouldn't normally challenge you to do, because I think a lot of people in my life, if they see how uncomfortable I am in these situations, they would just naturally be like, all right, well, I'll pull back. I won't push you to do it because I don't want you to be that uncomfortable. But I know Aaron is one of those people that will push me to do the things that he knows that are in my best interest and will cause me to grow. And so after I was done, I came up to him and I had this sense of feeling, and I feel like I'll do that when I get off stage today, is that there will just be this sort of joy and happiness and like fulfillment that I wasn't feeling with selling conventional real estate, but that feeling is what matters to me now. And so, yeah, I'm appreciative of that.
My pleasure, bro. I appreciate you, brother. Yeah. And now, not only has he stepped into that, but he stepped into media. He has a full-time videographer on staff. He's committed, team. Hey, I'm a great salesperson, aren't I? And he's building now. He has an organization of 20 plus agents. He decided to partner with us about a year ago. So I appreciate you, bro. Thank you. Yeah. You got to wait the longest.
Man, talk about being uncomfortable.
Hey, but you're definitely, worth the wait for sure. So we started working together in a coaching capacity a few years ago. And you and your wife, Carmen, you guys work together. Yep. And what were your challenges at that time?
So at that time we started in 2021. I mean, my wife and I, we did 7 figures that year. It was an awesome year. And so, but we did everything without an assistant. Systems. Basically, it was like the Wild Wild West. I remember one time, I think in the month of July, I think we had is it 20, 25 transactions, like 20 transactions, I think. Anyways.
With no assistant.
Yeah, no system, no assistant, no systems. And I mean, I was caught servicing, and then all of a sudden, like, I get back on the phones again, start producing again. I mean, that year was an awesome year. I'm not gonna lie, but no systems, no assistant. We just did it by ourselves. So we did have a transaction coordinator, but I'm a control freak, so I was caught myself servicing a lot.
And we would have conversations about that. Yes.
Yes, we did.
Hey, what are you doing? Stop it. And we worked on implementing systems, and me, you, and Carmen, we would have conversations all the time about that. And I think it's helpful for everybody to hear, what was the challenge, like kind of mentally, with saying like, okay, it's okay to hire somebody and spend money to hire them. Like, what was the challenge? KJ's laughing. So what was the challenge?
I think the challenge was, it was more, I was seeing an assistant more of a liability than an asset. It was more of an expense than an investment. And I remember you kept telling me it's, hire somebody, it's going to free up a lot of your time. And then we went over the book, what was it called? Where You're the Technician. What's the name of that book? I'm sorry.
Oh, the E-Myth.
Yeah, the E-Myth. And so anyhow, so we ended up hiring somebody eventually. It took us about a year or so after you kept telling us.
Hey, do you notice a pattern?
Yeah. So after a year, we hired somebody. She was part-time, just because, we hired her from 9 to like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And so that did help us out at the very beginning, but then, it freed up a lot of our time so we could just focus on prospecting and lead generation. But I don't know why I'm nervous.
It's perfectly fine. Everybody out here would be terrified if I asked them to come up here. Yeah.
Sorry, what was the question again?
Yeah, no, you answered it. It's great.
Yeah, okay.
And then what I'm also aware of, because I also pulled you aside and I said, you have the capacity to be a leader.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you at the time, so we worked on systems, all that other stuff. And then you were thinking about making a decision with regards to perhaps changing companies.
Yes.
And what caused you to come to the conclusion that this was the right decision for you?
Okay, so 3 reasons. The first one, I remember Jose Morales, he was switching brokerages back in, I believe it was 2020, 2021. He told me, hey, bro, switching brokerages. I'm going to this company called EXP, and he kind of gave me the whole spiel. And like, man, it sounds good. However, obviously I'm married, and I work with my wife, so she didn't want to make the move at that time. And, I love Jose, but I don't want to sleep on the couch.
That's right. That's right.
So anyhow, and then Aaron, you moved to EXP, and he was my coach at that time. I was coaching with him, and he made the move, and I was like, Carmen, we have to make the move. And she still wasn't fully sold until we met with Jose again, and then she met with Aaron again, and then we decided to make the move. But so that's part of the reason. And the other reason was because obviously I was going to have more proximity to you, Jose, and everybody on the upline. Mm-hmm. So that for me, I was like, man, Aaron, 2,000 transactions, Jose, 1,000 transactions, Lars, a lot of transactions. I didn't know John Mikish. I didn't know John Mikish until like a few events, maybe about like a year, like 2 years ago, I think. And so the fact that, I was in close proximity to people that are producing at very high levels, that's what made me move, along with obviously the commission structure of $16,000. So remember in 2021, I paid Remax close to $100,000 in fees.
I'm sorry, how much?
Close to $100,000 in fees.
But they have a party for me at the end of the year where they give me hot dogs and donuts.
Yeah.
And a plastic trophy. And I love my plastic trophy, Erwin.
Yeah, so the $16,000 in fees, it was like very enticing. So I did the math with leasing an office and being with EXP. It was like for me, it was a no-brainer.
No-brainer. And then what was interesting is I said to you, like, hey man, I think you can lead, you can do this. And you've started to pay attention to that on the attraction side. And what's been happening?
So right now we have, I think we're at 26 agents on the downline.
Yeah, buddy. And growing, right? You got an awesome little contingent over there and you're doing great stuff. And that produces, because I remember on coaching calls, we would talk about, you would invest it in a building and it produced a little bit of money. And what's starting to happen is rev share is equaling, if not sometimes on certain months, surpassing the money that you get from that property. Yes?
Yes. So last month, for the month of January, we made $5,300 in revenue share.
Buddy. That's legit. And what I'm aware of is that's meaningful for you and your family, is it not?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, which is beautiful. So I'm super appreciative. It's a privilege and a pleasure to be in partnership with you, brother. And all of these people are incredible humans. And again, the story of one is the story of all, guys. I need you to understand, if you take what we're sharing with you here, next year at this event or the year after, it'll be you on the stage. And when we were having this conversation, when you show up fully and completely and you go after what you want, you unconsciously give permission to other people to do the same. That's how that works, right? So let's give a huge round of applause to these great events. Whatever you're doing, whether it's selling real estate or doing creative, it's all mechanisms to raise cash. Now the question is, what do you actually do with the money that you're making? Anyone besides me notice that this industry is full of people who have a hard time managing their money? Make a lot of money, but don't have a lot to show for it. Yes or yes? I remember being on calls where I was usually one of the youngest people on that call. In mastermind groups, I would say to them, look guys, I mean this with love. I'm not trying to be a jerk. If I'm still on this call in my 60s and we're talking about contacts, I screwed up.